Hey loves, welcome and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be flipping this maxi skirts and turning it into this beautiful dress. If you're interested in seeing the process, then keep on watching. So I'm going to start by cutting off the waistband of this skirt. Now that the waistband is out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and cut off these two front pieces that was used to button up the skirt. Now I'm going to go ahead and iron out the fabric to get rid of these printed lines. I'm going to start by cutting the third tier, which is the one at the down part. Since the skirt has already been hemmed before, I'm just going to be marking out 10.5 inches. If it wasn't already hemmed, I would have added extra 1.5 inch for folding allowance. This is the full length of the skirt and it ended up being 29 inches on fold. I folded it twice, so one piece for the front and one piece for the back. Since our first piece is 10.5 inches by 29 inches, I'm going to be reducing that by 5 inches for the middle tier. Now for this middle tier, the wideness is 24 inches and the length is 11 inches. That is 10 inches plus 1 inch for seam allowance, half inch for the upper part and half inch for the lower part. So for the first layer, which is the upper piece, I'm going to be reducing the middle tier by 4 inches. So now we have 20 inches in width, and then for the length I took 8 inches plus 1 inch for seam allowance, that is 9 inches. So altogether we have 9 inches by 20 inches. So at this point I was figuring out how many inches I would add to the neckline. Since I'm going to gather it, I ended up using my full neckline measurement plus 6 inches. So you can use your neckline measurement plus about 6 to 8 inches. Then I used 2 inches for the armhole depth. Now for the ropes, I cut out 4 pieces of 20 inches by 1.5 inch. Now for the bias pieces that we're going to be using for the neckline, placing the fabric on fold, we are going to be marking our neckline divided by 2 plus 4.5 inches for the armhole allowance and half an inch for sewing allowance with length of 1.5 inch. We'll be cutting 2 pieces of this, one for the front and one for the back. Now I'm going to be double folding the ropes. Now we're going to be marking the middle of the upper tier plus the middle of the bias. Placing the wrong side of the upper piece to the right side of the bias, we're going to pin that middle point together. Now you're going to gather this upper piece to the bias. Now you're going to double fold the bias over the rough edge and pin in place. Sew along the inner edge of the fold. Now we want to mark the middle point and the neckline, which is 5 inches from the middle point on both sides, and place our straps on those points. Stitch in place. Now for the second tier, we're going to notch the middle on both sides and also the middle for the first tier. Now we're going to sew 2 loose stitches along the edge. Now we're going to pull on the thread to gather this up to make it the same width with the upper tier. Now we're going to place the first tier and the second tier with right sides facing and pin at the notch. Now sew them together using 1/2 inch seam allowance. If you have a serger, go ahead and serge along the rough edge. Repeat the process for the second tier for the third tier. Now that we are done with the front piece, repeat this entire process for the back piece and give everything a nice press. Now we're going to place the front and the back piece together with right side facing and sew 1/2 inch along both sides. And that's it, you guys. This is how I turned the maxi pleated skirt into a 3-tier dress, and I love the result. I love how it came out. Don't forget to like and share this video. Bye.